be a work session.
I'll call him. I would get that done and do it. We don't get fired for missing a meeting.
Oh Lord, you're gonna get that answer from me too. You're gonna get that answer from me too. Lord.
All right, thanks everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody's surviving the snow. We'll work through this agenda and get any questions answered, hopefully, fairly quickly. First on the agenda, we have approval of minutes. Those will be minutes from the special called meeting October 13th, and November 9th, 5 and 5:30 work session, November 16th, 9:30 a.m. work session, and our regular meeting from November 16th. Any questions there? Okay. All right, weed abatements. We've got several here. David, are there any we need to particularly know anything about?
I don't think so. I just, in the interest of time management, I'll be brief, but I thought that maybe everybody might want to just know just a little bit about it, since this will be the first one that y'all have voted on. But many years ago, we didn't have a process that would apply. We couldn't prosecute someone or lay hands on them. We were handcuffed as to what we could do in the state law. There's nothing that really fit. So Mayor Duke, after he went to the legislature, he knew we had an issue, and we talked to him about it. And he said, well, thank you. If y'all will work it up, I'll see what I can do. So in 95, we got Act 95-500 of the legislature, which is a state weed abatement law that only applies to the city of Decatur. And that's what we process these under. We will notify the owners, and if they fail to take action, we'll have our contractor cut them. And by the time they come to the council, they've already been cut, it's already been done. They've already had their opportunity for an administrative appeal if they choose to take that. And so basically what y'all are doing is just fixing the cost of the lien or the assessment. And then the revenue commissioner, when we record them in the probate judge's office, then the revenue commissioner will then put them against the property tax. That's it in a nutshell. Was I quick enough, Mayor? Was I quick enough?
Okay. Anybody have any questions on these specific properties here? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee. All right, next we have set a public hearing for ordinance number 20-4435. This will be on January 4th, 2021. Rezoning request 1366-20, a tract of land containing approximately 1.02 acres, is located east of Old River Road Southeast, currently zoned Ag 1 Agricultural District to R3 Single Family Residential District. Matt, are you on the line? Planning.
Hey, this is Joseph in planning.
Hey, Joseph.
I'm on the line if you have any questions.
Can you kind of give us an overview of this ordinance?
Yeah, not a problem. This is, of course, just setting a public hearing for rezoning of approximately 1 acre from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential. R3 residential zoning has a minimum lot size of 7,000 square feet. It permits single-family residential structures, and this is in the proximity of the River Road Manor proposed major plat. So the proposal would be to bring this sort of out parcel from that into conformity with the zoning of the rest of that proposed subdivision.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, next, public hearing resolution number 20-353. Approve request for off-premise beer and wine license for Sela G Incorporated, doing business as Sela Convenience Store, located at 1201 West Moulton Street. Sal?
Yes, sir. Good evening. This is a request for a new license and it's recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
Sal, is this not the same one that we looked at last term?
It is. It's the same convenience store that's located at 12th and West Moulton. However, it's a different applicant, and supposedly there's no connection. There's no co-ownership. Supposedly, this is a totally new person applying for this license.
Is that the one that was declined because of some past underage cigarette purchases or something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One was a cigarette purchase, one was an alcohol purchase, and one was here in Morgan County, one was in Tuscaloosa County.
But they're not, you're saying there's no connection?
No, sir. This is, and I made sure to establish that this is totally separate people applying for this license.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thanks, Sal.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have resolutions. Resolution number 20-354, approve replacement of flood damaged pier in the amount of $37,300. Donna?
Well, I'm Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
McLean. Okay, so this is a request to replace the pier that was actually damaged in the 2019 flood at the Point Mallard Aquatic Center.
Okay. Any questions?
So there's some other funding.
Yes, sir. The amount of it is $37,300. We've been working with FEMA, EMA, and EHP on this project, and there will actually be a portion of this that will be refunded back to the city.
Okay. Do we know how much?
Paul would have to answer that question. 87.5%, he says.
Okay.
So it's costing the city $4,600.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it's going back the same way it was, TVA's approved and all that.
Yes, we're actually, the person that's actually doing or has put in the work as far as to help us with this, they've requested us to build it a little bit differently. It will still fit in the same footprint, so the permits and everything are good, but it does meet ADA compliance.
Okay, any other questions? Thanks, Stephanie. All right, next we have resolution number 20-355, vacation request 524-20. Joseph or Herman? Either?
Yes, sir. This is a vacation of approximately 90 square feet out of a drainage utility and telecom easement along the boundary of Lot 93B of the replat of Vestavia Court. The address is 900 Village Court, and this is not a vacation of the entire easement, but rather 1 foot out of an 8-foot easement.
Okay. Any questions? All right, thanks, Joseph. Resolution number 20-357, award bid number 21-003 for EOTech HWS XP S2 holographic gun sights to Lawman and Shooter Supply Incorporated. Becky?
I'll handle that one, Council President.
Okay.
This is Charles, the purchasing agent. This is a bid we did for the police department, these holographic sights for rifles. We sent out 14 invitations to bid. We got back 7, and the lowest responsible bidder was Lawman Shooter Supply at $430.40 a piece. The department plans to buy 10 units right now. Just a little background on our purchasing process. These are classified under a commodity code that we are likely to go over the bid limit of $15,000 on, so we were required to use a bid on this process, even though this particular purchase is not over the $15,000 limit.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Charles. All right, resolution number 20-358 declare surplus of municipal vehicles no longer needed by the Morgan County Regional Landfill. Becky.
Good evening, council. Yes, this is requested by the landfill. They have two machines, both of them, they're called a cover machine, and one of them does not have a motor. It's simply scrapped. If you saw the pictures, you would see it would be scrapped. The first one is one that we will definitely sell on GovDeals. It is definitely worthy of GovDeals sales.
Okay. Any questions?
Point of information, the funds here will go back into the enterprise account as opposed to the general fund.
Okay.
Yes. Anything that we sell for the landfill or Point Mallard, it goes to their accounts.
Right.
And then anything else, it always goes to the general fund.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, resolution number 20-359, declare surplus of municipal vehicles no longer needed by street and environmental.
Yes, this is an example of a garbage truck that will be sold on GovDeals, and it will go back into the general fund.
All right, any questions? Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
All right, resolution number 20-360, FY21 budget amendment regarding funding of previously approved items and projects. Kyle.
Yeah, this is just some housekeeping. Traditionally, we've already done one of these once this year. We missed a few items. So traditionally what happens is we'll have some items that have been allotted to be purchased in this instance 20, that haven't actually been received. So they flow into the previous year, and in order for me to move it in the system, I need approval from y'all. So that's where these three items come in. There's $100K in the Heritage Fund for handicap cuts, an additional $5,000, roughly $5,000 for the sign shop that was purchased, and then the additional $219,000 was what was left over from the water for resale for the economic development with Indian Hills.
That was for sewer?
Yes.
Okay, any questions? All right, thanks, Kyle. Resolution number 20-361, authorize mayor to execute Bank Street resurvey agreement with Diana Painter.
Yeah, Alan Stover, Community Development. We sent RFPs out for this work, and Ms. Painter is the one that we selected to do this work. It is resurveying it. We do have a grant from Historic Preservation to assist us with this, so we're just asking that you allow the mayor to sign this agreement.
Okay, any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Resolution number 20-362, budget increase of $5,000 to animal services repair and maintenance line to pay for unexpected HVAC repairs. Bobby?
Chief
Chief
Allen.
Hey, Chief.
And that issue is one of 9 units over there on the animal services building. These units are very expensive upgraded units because they kind of separate the hair and pollen from the, I guess, hair and dinner from the animals. And we're trying to get one up and running. It has a freon leak on it right now, but we think the leak can be repaired, and it should give us a few more years life out of that unit. Right now, it's not producing any heat or air.
All right, any questions? Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right, resolution number 20-363, approved police department positions adjustment for FY21. Rochelle?
Yes, sir. This is coming before the council because we're actually changing the resource allocations within the department. When the budget is approved for each department, the salaries and wages are based on specific head count. So many lieutenants, so many sergeants, so many police officers, and that's the same for all departments. Chief Allen has a vacant transport security officer position in his department, and he would like to convert that to reduce that total head count and increase by one, and increase crime scene tech by one, and that is into a higher pay grade, which is another reason it comes to council. And Chief Allen is on the phone if you have questions about his strategy on why he wants to make that operational change.
Okay, yeah, Chief, yeah, go ahead.
Really what it is we are more in need of a crime scene technician than we are a transport officer. To give you a little history on this, when I took over as chief here, we used to have a jail. We disbanded the jail, and so we had some correctional officers positions we put into transport. Transport officers, what they do is transport officers from the county jail to the city hall for court, and they transport officers from the street to the jail to keep the officers on the street. We can get by with using 3 of them as opposed to 4, so we really need another civilian crime scene technician, and that person will go out there and actually do the fingerprinting and process a crime scene. We only have one right now. The city has grown, and we are in desperate need of having a second crime scene technician.
Okay, any other questions? Go ahead.
I think the difference in the funding, Kyle should still be online, was about $2,000, and we have that in the excess pay from the open position that we have.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Any other questions? All right. Resolution number 20-364, authorize mayor to sign 2021 Safe Workplace Guidelines Annual Agreement with MWCF. Rochelle?
This is our annual agreement with the Municipal Worker Comp Fund, who is our risk management group for our work comp insurance, and it's just our assertion that we have a safety program in place, that we're doing safety training and safety compliance, and it helps minimize the impact of annual premium rate increases and providing a discount for us. And I believe Rodney is on the line with safety if you have any questions about the program or the purpose of this agreement.
Hey, any questions for Rochelle or Rodney? Okay, thank you. Resolution number 20-365, re-energize director development recruitment selection efforts. Rochelle?
As everyone knows, we have a director of development vacancy that's been open, and we've been trying to recruit for some time. It's stalled in transition of council members. Just need some guidance on what this council would like for us to do in terms of moving forward to fill this vacancy.
Okay. Any questions? All right, thanks, Rochelle. Resolution number 20-366, job classification pay plan update, reclassify pay grade for planner 3. Rochelle?
Yes, we know our planning department is in need of some experience and filling some vacancies. We have a gap there. Joseph and Matt are doing a phenomenal job. We need to get them some support. We've had multiple recruiting rounds for a senior level experienced planner, not been successful. So based on a market analysis, the personnel board is recommending that we increase the pay range for planner 3 from a pay grade 20 to a pay grade 22. The average market for the state is $60,000 to $96,000. Recommending that 22 to 58,000 and 88,000 at the top, which is consistent with the rest of our peer groups and our pay scale.
Okay. Any questions? So, Rochelle, we're leaving that. You're leaving this on here to just change the pay grade, but I know we have a planner 3 position open, which is, I guess, the next item on the agenda we'll talk about, but we're just changing this going forward. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And in full transparency, if we get approval for the manager classification, as we initiate that recruitment effort, we may identify a planner 3 before we identify a manager. So we'll just come back at that point in time and discuss that hiring strategy. But we want to be prepared in either event because we need both positions.
Okay. All right, any questions there? All right, resolution number 20-367, adopt job classification manager, planning department. Rochelle?
Our current pay structure does not have a manager job classification identified for the planning department. We do have those manager roles in code inspection, building, grant or community development, traffic, revenue. We want to build this position into our job classification system, again, in an effort to recruit some experience, someone with an AICP, which is the planner certification, and to have some supervisory experience for some leadership in that department.
Okay, any questions?
We're starting that out of 23, Rochelle.
Yes, that's the recommendation.
And when we talk about, you mentioned the other departments, the community development, building, code enforcement, those managers in those positions are at a 21.
That is correct. When we did the market analysis for the manager for planning and bumped it against those similar positions in other cities, we found that the pay ranges were higher, in large part based on the scope of responsibility for the manager of planning roles. The zoning, the code, the planning, the community development piece, the urban development piece seems to be in the market analysis in a higher pay range in general.
But the requirements and the responsibilities on paper are basically the same, correct?
For the other departments and the manager of planning, no, they're unique to each department.
I didn't think they were. But I think that if we go down this road, are we not setting ourselves up for job studies in the future that are going to try to correct this? Like, I mean, it's going to cost us in the future if we start doing these type things.
Yes, we should expect that. Our job class system should be a living, breathing document, living, breathing system, because there are market changes all across the spectrum, not the least of which is police, paramedics, etc. So as these opportunities arise, I think we as a city need to be progressive and do the analysis and accommodate those changes to stay current with the market.
I understand that it's a moving and breathing, moving document. I understand that fully well, but I was not talking about this position actually changing. I was saying that we're going to have to look at job studies in the future regarding the other departments that are basically of similar requirements. Are we not?
Yes, that is correct.
So
yes, you are correct. This is a critical need.
I understand. So why would we not bring them in now at the same? And I understand you saying that you cannot advertise and bring someone in at less than a 23. But why would we not have them all at the same level?
Well, honestly, I haven't done a market analysis on all the others. This was a critical need, so that's where our focus was. We can certainly do that on the other positions and provide information on what the market says.
Okay, then I misunderstood because I thought you said that we had looked at the others. Okay.
I did do a comparison. I did not do a deep dive analysis like I did with the planning.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I did dive into every city for specifically code, planning, community development. I focused primarily on planning and did a quick check on the other positions to make sure we were tracking.
I understand, but you're probably more aware of this than even I am. But you know that's going to depend strictly on what cities we use as comparative data, and if we do that, again, it could be higher or it could be lower. But I'm still not understanding why we're not moving all of our managers if we're going to do this manager if they're of equivalent positions. I don't understand why we would have a recommendation as such when the managers are basically having the same responsibilities in their department, in their respective departments.
Honestly, the focus was on trying to fill the planning gaps. If that's something the council would like me to go back and do, I'm happy to do it. I would caution that would open the floodgates for the whole city, because the whole pay study or the whole pay scale we came in at 10% below market. In the absence of 3% cost of living adjustments, the whole pay scale is now slipping behind market again.
I understand. I just don't know that it's wise for us to look at just one department, because I think that's what got us into the situation where we had to have a job study before. That's just my perspective. That's just the way that I see it. Okay. we can move on.
Any other thoughts on that? All right, thanks, Mr. Jackson. Thanks, Michelle.
Welcome.
All right, resolution number 20-368, approve Bibb Garrett Road interchange project items. Carl?
Yes, Council, this is Carl Pruitt, City Engineer. Yeah, we got several things, I guess, in this one resolution. I guess, as you know, November 12th, we opened bids on our Bibb Garrett project. The low bidder was Reed Contracting, our parent low bidder. We're asking award of the, I guess, alternate two at $13,255,542.86. The difference between it and the alternate one information you have, which is $12,887,339.96, is the betterment in which Decatur Utilities will pay that difference. So the Decatur Utilities will pay roughly $368,000 of that $13 million number that we're going to award. Also in this is getting AECom on board to do the construction, engineering, and inspections on the project. They have their cost in there, as well as some additional support for the right-of-way acquisition, which we're currently pursuing. Also in this resolution is payment for Athens Utilities to move their electrical utilities that are out there, and that price is at $265,000. And based on all the numbers and the grant that was awarded, we'll need an additional funding of about $256,254.99. That's what's all in this resolution. It's quite a bit. So, any questions or from y'all?
What was that amount again, Carl?
Which one?
The additional amount?
$256,254.99.
Thank you.
And the resolution says funding shall be made available from general fund, unassigned fund balance. Okay, thumbs up, is that?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Okay, any other questions for Carl or for Kyle? All right, thanks, Carl.
Councilman, hello, this is Matthew with Planning Department. I'm sorry I came in so late. I had some technical difficulties. But if I can answer any question for anybody, please let me know.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, last resolution here, resolution number 20-369, approve Kerry Matthews agreement with Garver Engineering. Carl?
Yes, with the Kerry Matthews project, I have architect on board to do the architectural type work. This is for some site grading and design to help get the water away from the building, which is probably part of the cause of what's happening with the building. And I got this proposal from Garver Engineering for $52,957 to do that civil engineering work.
All right, any questions? All right, thanks, Carl.
Welcome.
All right, next we have ordinances first reading. Ordinance number 20-4436, rename Silvercrest Drive Southwest to Onizuka Drive Southwest. This is the first reading. Matt?
Yes, sir, that's correct. This was to fix, I suppose, what the only member of the challenger who was not honored in a naming of a street here in Decatur was Colonel Onizuka. So that's what this is hoping to do, is to rectify that.
And no one lives on that street yet, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, thanks, Matt.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Boards and committees, reappoint Pam Worsler to the Personnel Board, term expiring December 31st, 2025. Herman, do you want to talk through this one? I know this will be her I think she's wrapping up a second term, and there's a policy in place around 2-term limits on some of these boards. So can you talk us through what will have to happen there?
Alrighty, the policy that you're describing also states that if a 2/3 majority of the council votes in favor, then the term can be extended. It's normally a 2-term limit, and but if the council is so inclined to, that can by 2/3 vote reappoint this individual.
Okay. Any discussion, questions? Okay.
I was just very impressed when I was at the personnel board meeting how Pam handled herself and questions and just her professionalism she brought to it.
Anything else? Okay.
I have one thing. I want to thank you, Brad, particularly for getting the IDB board meeting on YouTube. And I think that I've gotten a lot of comments on it for us putting that on. I'd also like for you to look at the possibility of putting our personnel board meetings on because I think that it's important for not only our citizens, but even more important for our employees to be able to see what's going on in those meetings. So I'd like for you to consider looking at putting the personnel board meetings on. I'd also like to publicly thank, and I know a lot of other people were involved, but over Thanksgiving, we had a lot of people to donate a lot of things for citizens who didn't necessarily have. And this was a process or a project that was started by John Andrieski. And I know that Stacy had a lot to do with it, and a lot of other people did as well. But I want to thank those people. And also Nash's Barbecue for cooking some of those turkeys for some of the people who needed those things. And Kyle and I went out and gave a lot of those turkeys out, and Kyle can attest to the fact that a lot of those people were in pretty desperate need for those resources. And I just want to thank everybody that contributed to that. So just thank you to everyone who was involved in that.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. One other thing, Chief Thornton, do you mind giving us an update on the fire station? I know Mr. Pike has worked closely with you and some of the other folks involved, so thank y'all for your hard work on this, but any updates you can give us there?
Yep, thank you for what y'all done on this so far. I asked, the mayor had talked to me about the numbers on this, and I'd called the architects, Joe Fuquay, this morning, and he got with Brad Slater, which was a low bidder on the fire station, and he sent me over some numbers on some stuff this afternoon. It was at $3,375,000, which was $375,000 over what it needed to be. We done some cost reduction through different things inside the station, like different type of flooring, different curtains, different baseboards, several of those things we changed. It's supposed to have the same specs as what we applied for. It's just a different company making different fixtures, different things like that. And was able to cut the price down to $3,289,656. There was also $100,000 of contingent money in there that was for if we had a problem with the soil not being good, or for sewer problem or something they ran into that wasn't planned for, that we wouldn't have to be coming back to council and asking for money on that. They took that $100,000 contingent money out. And also, we're still trying to look at the doors on the front. We wanted these bifold, 4-fold doors, but they're going to cost $52,000 more, $52,404 more than the other doors to get those. We have talked to some other people, and they said they had a lower price on it, but we haven't been able to get a quote of a lower price on it yet, but we're still looking at that. So if you took the doors and the contingent money and the cost reduction down, if you took all that out, it would be at $3,137,252 is what it is at this point.
Okay. Any questions for Chief?
How much did you say that was?
The bottom number on it, if you take the doors and everything off that we talked about, is $3,189,656.
Thank you.
And I think we have, I think Mr. Slater gave us till the 8th, which is next Tuesday.
Right. It's extended out to December 8th.
Okay.
I could have got this to y'all a little bit quicker today, but they said that the prices wasn't going to change, and they had an agreement from all the subcontractors and vendors, but they had two of them that hadn't got the written version into them for them to put on there, so it took a little bit longer today to get that.
Okay.
Is that going to be added to our agenda for Monday?
If we get a solid bottom line number, yes.
Okay.
All right, council, anything else? Directors, anybody on the phone? Anybody else here? Mayor? Nothing from me? All right, our next work session will be December 14th, 2020 at 5 p.m. The next regular council meeting, we'll have ours next week for this agenda, and then December 21st, 2020 at 10 a.m. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.